Hey guys, what's up? This is Yahya again. I just wanted to do a live video, non-sports related, um, about like just all of the things that have been happening, as of lately in the last couple of weeks or so, and everything like this. You know, being African immigrant, certain things you take with you from your continent. One of the things I always knew I had to take with me was written literature, pre colonial written literature. And there's one treaty that's very interesting, I should say, that talks about like certain things that are like actually going on right now. But mind you, this manuscript was made or written, I should say, in like pre-colonial times. And it just kind of spoke about like the different aspects of the world we're living in today, basically, and how corrupted it would be, and who would be the cause of that corruption, and how we should not imitate those who are the cause of that corruption, because at the end of the day we will end up humiliated, basically. And I really see this playing out to a T. The first example I look at is Chicago. When you look at Chicago, one has to ask themselves, why are the mass killings in Chicago like kind of like underreported? Like it seems like as if it's not a state of emergency. Like having consistent weekends where people are killed, like where people are shot, like over 60 people are shot on a consistent basis every weekend, this would be something that you would have to say, wow, we have to put a state of emergency on this city. Like we have to like bring it under control. What's the problem? And then there's another incident that made me think to myself too, what what's really behind this? And that incident was when the cops, I think they set up, I want to say they set up a bait truck to see if people were going to steal Nikes from them. And I'm like, huh, why would they do that? Like why would they entice people to do that, Like if there wasn't another agenda. And then another thing too. This is another thing. I heard it twice. The violence in Chicago, from what I heard, is being engineered by the powers that be. And the reason why I think this may be the case is because one former Chicago gangster said that they literally just go and the government drops barrels of weapons off in Chicago because of the simple fact the weapons that they're getting they're not even found in gun shops, you know? So this is another thing that makes me think like, if they're getting this and they're not found at the local gun stores, then what's this about? And then an artist who's from Chicago by the name of Kay Valentine said that yeah, they go in the hood and they drop off the weapons. They just drop them off in barrels. And that for me is like, wow, this is kind of making sense, because when you look at other inner cities, they don't have this kind of thing going on. Like 60 people in one weekend, they don't have this going on. I'm not saying that there's not a lot of violence in other inner cities, but it's not like Chicago. So I'm thinking like, I'm questioning, why are they targeting Chicago in particular? And then the other incidents that have been happening, the police killings are still not going down of black people, and they're being more underreported than ever now. You know, think it was like this past weekend, I think, that another guy in Philly, unarmed, didn't pose a threat, was not resisting, keyword, was not resisting, and basically got killed in cold blood by the police. And it's just a recurring thing now. It's like every single week now. Honestly, every single week, although underreported, you hear about like a police killing, a police brutality, a police handling, like manhandling someone of color for simply being of color. Um, an example was another video that popped up online was with it was with a routine traffic stop, and the officer drew an assault rifle out, and then the officer drew the assault rifle out, and the guy asked in the car, like, why are you doing this, like, why, it's just a routine traffic stop. And the officer said, "Cause you're not white." And I'm like, oh, wow, they're really they're really up to something now, you know. And I try not to bring prophecy into this, but the reason why I titled this video Neo Pax Rome, because when you think of it, it is kind of like a neo Rome that's going in the whole, on this plane at least. Because when you think about it, you see what's happening to President Trump right now with his scandals. It seems like the scandals get more and 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 more. Like the scandals just keep on building up, building up, building up, building up. There was another thing that they had where they showed Trump with Rudy Giuliani dressed in drag and him kissing up on her. So it's like all of this craziness is happening. It's like, and we know back in Rome that these kind of things were pushed, like cross dressing, homosexuality, bestiality, and things of that nature. And another thing is, I just read a report, two reports actually, that I think it was, yeah, in down south, where three men, not one man, but three men were arrested for trying to sexually abuse animals and videotape it. And then I read another uh, something that a woman was arrested for trying to have sex with a dog. You know, so and then you see it, you see the homosexual agenda playing out through just everything, every single outlet of media. And it's like crazy to me, because we know in Rome they liked homosexuality as well. You know, um, we know this, and so this is why I'm saying it's like kind of like a neo Rome, like a neo Pax Rome. And then the interesting thing too is that now that Trump's guy is going down, or his former guy is going down, he's like willing to spill all the information regarding the election and stuff like that. So for me, it's like we're living in some really, I want to say, bizarre times right now. You know, it's like bizarre, so bizarre you can kind of even feel it in the air. You know, and then another thing that's been happening, and also being kind of under reported, but thanks to social media, it's getting out there, is that um, the Romans, we should say, the Romans have been calling the cops um, on black people for whatever reason. Like some call the cops for like a black woman studying at her campus that she attends. Uh, some, called the cops on a woman who had expired tags, but they blocked in the woman. Uh, Mind you, she was parked. They'll call the cops on that, and they'll call the cops on you for like simply living in your complex, basically. So it's like I'm questioning, like, what is going on here? What is the end goal of these Romans? What do they want? That they're doing certain things. You know, like, and I'm just wondering, like, what's the end goal for all of this craziness going on right now? It's like something new every day comes up. And then I guess I'll end with this. I don't want to keep on going on and on, but I'll end with the feminist thing. This Roman feminism. I'm not going to even call it real feminism, because real feminism, honestly, it real feminism is in the fabric of every like it's in the fabric of every healthy society. Yeah, every healthy society, like when a society is healthy, when a society is like for the majority part, like when the society, like when the majority of that society is content, then pretty much feminism, the normal feminism is going to be in place. And women will, all women will truly benefit from that. But with this feminism going on right now, I have to question, like, are all women benefiting from it, or are just a select few benefiting from it? Because the whole thing with the Me Too movement, um, now makes me think it's a farce now, because one of the leaders, uh, I think it's Asia Argenio, I don't know what her name is, but now she got caught doing the very same thing that she spoke out against. And to take it a step further, she was trying to them pay the guy off, you know? And so I'm just saying to myself, like, wow, like the plot keeps on thickening with these Romans, you know? And so I mean, all I can really say is like, no, I mean, just fasten the seatbelts, because I have a feeling that more is coming, you know, and I don't know I don't know, you know, I'm no fortune teller or anything like that, but you know, I I don't see anything good happening in the near future unless the people use multiple outlets to, you know, combat this madness. Uh, Feel free to drop your comments and let me know what you think. You know, I would be open to, you know, collaborate and talk about some of these issues that we're going through. I would be open to talk about like the things that this channel is geared towards, which is boxing, European football, and the things that I'm talking about right here. So stay tuned. Njara.